How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another Movie Hooker YouTube video, and today I am going to be talking about the best South Korean action movies. Now, I'm going to do a few videos on this series. This is part one, and I am going by the movies that I've written an article on moviehooker.com. Best Korean action movies, part one and part two. There also is going to be a part three and possibly a part four as well. So I'm just going to get stuck straight in, guys. So this is going to be, there's going to be no videos really. Maybe I might be able to do some of that, but this is going to be me just talking. So if that's not your thing, see you later. Okay, so let's get stuck straight in. The first one I have on my list is a more recent South Korean action movie, and it's called Deliver Us from Evil. This is on another level when it comes to action, guys, and it follows a hitman. Of course, he's the best in the business, and he is retiring, but he made a promise to this woman, and this woman ends up dead, I think, as far as I can remember, and her child gets kidnapped by a crime syndicate, and she gets shipped to Thailand to get her organs all harvested. So she's not, I would say crime syndicate is the wrong word. I would say organ harvesters, a load of bad people. So he goes to Thailand to try and rescue this little girl. But what he doesn't know is that a serial killer is also on his path because of a botched job in Japan. This is features one of the best serial killers. I can think of two serial killers from South Korean movies, and that is like, I can think of a lot more, but two that really left an impact on me, and that is Choi Min-sik from I Saw the Devil, and also Lee Jung-jae from Deliver Us from Evil. He is probably better known as the lead in Squid Game. So that is Deliver Us from Evil. When I say, like, you watch this, I'll say this a lot, and I do say it a lot, is that once you see the level of action and the stunt choreography in these movies, this is why I love Asian cinema over everything else, because in my opinion they do it way better. So that is number one. That is Deliver Us from Evil. And next on my list, I have Project Wolf Hunting. Project Wolf Hunting is an ultra violent, it's just ultra violent chaos, carnage, and it is, I'd say, a mix. If you put Universal Soldier and Con Air into a blender, and then you added a sprinkle of ultra violence and made it from South Korea, then you would this is what Project Wolf Hunting would be. And this follows a cargo ship, a load of cops on a cargo ship who are transporting some extremely dangerous criminals. We've got every sort of criminal. We have like a serial killer, we have gang members, we have sexual offenders, and these guys are really, really bad. So there's a load of cops transporting them from the Philippines to South Korea to a maximum security prison, just like Con Air. But what they don't know is that I think on the bottom floor of this ship, there's like a government secret experiment going on where the government is trying to create super soldiers, Universal Soldier. And yeah, of course the soldier wakes up, but this soldier cannot differentiate between who is a good guy and who is a bad guy. This just goes insane, and this guy, it absolute mayhem and bloodshed. So if you're not into over the top violence and over the top blood, I mean, this is one of the bloodiest and the goriest films I've ever seen in my life, and if that's not your thing, you may want to give this one a miss, okay? So that is Project Wolf Hunting from 2022. Next on my list, I have The Villainess. So The Villainess is I have a couple of things to talk about in The Villainess. This fall, same again. She's the lead in this is a female lead, absolute badass female lead. One of the best opening sequences I've ever seen in a horror or in an action movie, which sort of reminded me of, you remember Hardcore Henry with Charlotte Copley? well, it's sort of like that. It's like a POV action sequence at the start, and it is absolutely breathtaking. So you know straight away from the fucking first opening sequence that this is going to be something really, really special. So this girl goes after the what's the word? I'll just say the company. She goes after the company that she once worked for because she wants out, and they will not let her out of it. And yes, the other thing I want to touch on in this is that this is such an impressive movie that John Wick 3 completely ripped it off in one scene. I've said this a million times and I will say it a million times more because it does not get the attention that it deserves. There's a scene in The Villainous where they're going through tunnels with samurai swords and motorbikes, and I was watching John Wick 3, and hold on, I put my phone on silent. Thanks, Jason. Uh, um, yes, so if you know John Wick 3 Parabellum, there's the scene as well where John Wick's going through the tunnels with the samurai swords. Absolutely stole it from The Villainous, and what I say about that is that there's not even a fine line. You can either be inspired by it or you can actually rip people off, and that is what John Wick done, is rip off The Villainous. And in my opinion, it never got, the Villainous still does not get the credit. I'd say 80% of the people who watch this John Wick scene are going, oh my god, this action scene is unlike anything I've ever seen before in my life. They ripped it off. And the scene in The Villainous is much better as well. So that is number 3, I think. The Villainous. And next up, okay, we've got The Witch. Part 1, Subversion. If you're not familiar with Park Hoon-jung is probably best known as the screenwriter for I Saw the Devil, and he writes and he directs The Witch Part 1, Subversion, and The Witch Part 2, the other one, and I'll touch on that one in my next part of the action movies. So this has a little bit of a sci-fi, non-believable action feel to it. It follows this young kid who enters a talent competition like X Factor or American Idol or something, and she's singing on television, and I think she can do some sort of telekinetic thing as well. But when she's singing on TV, these North Koreans see her and go, oh my god, there she is. It turns out that this North Korean secret government agency has been hunting for this girl and they cannot find her. And this little kid doesn't know why. But she starts to get all her memories back. And once she starts to get her memories back, she actually becomes the person she is meant to be. And that is an absolute killing machine. Again, the action is a little bit non-believable in this. Some of it, but not all of it. Because these guys are pretty much superhumans as well. But the action choreography and everything is just off the charts. It is a wonderful film, and although the part 2 doesn't quite live up to the first one, it's still enjoyable enough. It's a lot better than a lot of Western action movies. So yes, that is The Witch Part 1, Subversion. Let me see what else I got. Oh, okay, I think this is the last one on this list. This is called Secretly Greatly. I believe it's from 2013. Now, there has been a K-drama series, which I have yet to check out, so you guys are lucky if this is the first time you're hearing of Secretly Greatly. Then there is the movie from 2013, and then there's a more recent adaptation K-drama. So the story of this is North Korea again. North Korea have trained 3 young children since birth to be absolute killing machines. And these guys are on a different level. So they're sent then to South Korea, and they're sent to South Korea and they have to take on new identities. One of the guys takes on, I think one of the guys is a school kid. Another one is a wannabe rock star. And the other one has like intellectual disabilities or learning difficulties. And he's just this little happy dude in a village. And he works in a little shop with an old woman. But once once he's in his apartment, when he goes to bed, he takes off his top and he's like completely ripped, and he starts doing like press ups and all this crazy exercise. He pushes buttons on his wall and guns come out. So they have to keep these identities until they get word from North Korea about their mission that they must execute. But by the time that the mission comes, these guys are sort of loving their new identities. And it is a remarkable film. It's actually really funny. And then when the action gets going, again, it's unlike anything you'll see. It's just how these guys can do some of this stuff is just beyond me, to be honest. And this is why I love Asian cinema over anything. You can get these guys throwing 1,000 kicks and punches per minute, and then you get people like Vin Diesel and The Rock and stuff. It's like, oh my god, there is absolutely no comparison. When I think I've said this before, I was working in movie stores when The Expendables came out, and when I seen the cast of The Expendables, I was like, oh, this sounds good. This does sound good. And I remember a quote that Sylvester Stallone gave Empire magazine, and that was, "You can expect rivers of gore and necks snapping like breadsticks." And then he rated it 12 so you could go and take your child to the cinema. Absolutely disgusting, Sylvester. Disgusting. That's not action. So guys, that is it for part 1 of the best South Korean action movies. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. There is going to be a part 2 and a part 3, so thank you very much for watching. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, then please do so. Thank you now, and have a good day. Bye.